So Liz, we're just going to start with introductions.
Sure, you go ahead. Yep.
There's some folks here who we met on the site tour who should reintroduce themselves. And then looks like there's a couple of names I don't recognize on the screen. So I'll just start. My name's Dan Drazen. I'm a board member from the Concord Housing Development Corporation. And I'm working with Lee Smith here on this RFP.
Thank you. Yeah, so.
Oh, sure. I'm Christine McKenna-Locke. I work with Liz at the Regional Housing Services Office.
I'm Ed Hamzondo with Masscan Capital. We're a housing development company based in Eastern Massachusetts.
Hi, and I'm Todd Benjamin, Concord resident, interested in trying to help facilitate development of this site. So I'm glad that we're here finally at this stage and that the RFP is out and going, and excited to learn more about how we can get this project up and running.
All right, we're going to turn to the visitors joining us via Zoom. So Liz, you want to just say hi?
Sure. Hi, I'm Liz Rust. I'm with the Regional Housing Services Office and glad to be here with you, and I help the CHDC with their efforts.
Great.
Rick Lefferts, a development consultant to Common Ground Development Corporation in Lowell.
Hey, Rick.
Keith, do you want to say hi?
Yeah, hi, Keith Bergman, Chair of the Concord Municipal Affordable Housing Trust. Just joined the site visit, and I will be, I'm hanging out in West Concord for the next one. Thanks.
Great. Julie?
Yes, hi, I'm Julie Kramer. I'm with Preservation of Affordable Housing here in Boston.
Welcome, Julie. Thanks for joining.
Is she part of your team, Todd?
Heather?
Oh, hi, I'm sorry. I am Heather Carey and I am admin assistant. I work with the RHSO.
Oh, great. Thanks for joining us. And then I see a phone number 978-371. Is that someone who's already on, or is that just an audio only person?
That's audio only. It's Linda Escobedo. I'm on the Concord Select Board and follow all the housing activities. Thank you.
Hi, Linda.
Linda.
Hi.
Thanks for joining, Linda.
Great.
So, Liz, I was just going to hit a couple other high points from the RFP and ask folks if they have questions. Julie, for your benefit, since you were on the site tour, I did spend a few minutes giving a little bit of a backdrop to this process in terms of how we got here. It's in the RFP, but I just talked about the disposition from the Commonwealth to the CHDC and then Grantham's proposal back in 2015. And that the fact that that project did not move forward has brought us to this point where we're sort of rebooting the development of this site through this RFP process. I guess I would say the other piece of this, just from a town perspective, is that this really is a high interest parcel in terms of how visible this is in the town's housing production plan. And we see this as a real opportunity to boost the number of units here in town and to bring us over the 10% threshold for the SHI, and hopefully give us some cushion above that 10%. So that is a little bit of a backdrop, but I would, and I guess the other piece I would just say is concurrent with this process, we are doing an RFP for a second project, which we're calling Assabet River Homes. This is a 1 acre parcel with 2 units today. We're looking for a developer to do 3 additional units. If you respond to this RFP, you're welcome to also respond to that one, or you could respond to them independent of one another. We're going to be doing a site tour for that project in just just about an hour at noon. I would like to open it up to questions and, things that are on folks' minds. We're happy to chat, unless Lee, you have anything else you wanna
Nope.
add?
I don't.
I'll just say if I could, that
Yeah.
I know Dan mentioned that this is a high interest property. It's right there in West Concord. It's right on the rail trail. It's right just a stone's throw from the train station in West Concord Village. It's has a lot of features for it. I think it's in the proposed MBTA district, though that's of course coming and not available right now. So there's a lot of opportunities for that. It's right by the river there, which has its pluses and minuses, of course, from a development perspective. And there's all sorts of materials that have been developed, of course, using the last project, but that are in the packet and on the website to show some designs and open space, plans that were thought of at the time to take advantage of the property and its features. It does have some spectacular views of the prison as well.
And just for clarification, our website is Concord Housing Development Corporation, or CHDC, which is part of the Town of Concord's website.
Exactly.
Yep.
Todd, Ed, Julie, Rick, questions, comments, thoughts?
Question on what the town's proposed MBTA zoning is, that how it might affect the site.
This site is proposed to be included in the MBTA zoning. I believe it's close enough to the West Concord commuter rail station. We were standing on the site and looking down the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail. It's in eyes view. It's probably, I don't know, 1/8 of a mile, 1/4 mile. And then the access to this site intersects with the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail, so it's certainly a short walk to that station. But that's advancing, on a parallel path through the town, but it is included in the proposed inclusion.
I guess my first question is, from my read of the RFP, you're really hoping for home ownership units here. I think every town would love some affordable home ownership units. I live here in Milton, and I'm on the Affordable Housing Trust here in Milton, and that is our goal as well. It's an uphill battle, as if folks know that. The group I work for has, had difficulty getting projects larger than 3 or 4 units subsidized and built, so for home ownership. So I'm just wondering, is the concern around the LIHTC program, the low-income housing tax credit program for the rentals, that there is a wait, you gotta wait in line for those credits, or is that a community, are the abutters hoping for home ownership, or I just wondering where that came from.
Want to take it?
So there are 2 40B projects in the pipeline in Concord right now that will be all rental, somewhere in the range of 400 to 500 units combined. So, that we see that market as likely being addressed by those, at least one of the projects, if not both. So with that in mind, we prefer the home ownership model just to address that segment of the population, ideally for existing Concord residents or employees, teachers, firefighters, nurses, etc. I guess we're aware of the economic challenges that come with that. So that's why we didn't limit the proposals to only home ownership. But as far as the LIHTC piece, you know, I think timing is an issue for us. You know, with Grantham, we were in that for literally years before it ultimately fell apart, and we're not ruling anything out,
Yeah.
but we understand that. And you know, I think we might also consider if it is homeownership, maybe a phased approach, if that changes the economics of it all.
So I'll offer that the homeownership can go up to 150% AMI. And I think that you know, so that's one thing, you know, maybe a mixed development, and I think the CHDC is open to both there. So I'll just say that, yeah.
Other questions, Julie?
No, thank you. You know, we proposed way back when, the first time around, so I know the site. It's a great site, you know. I hope this this time out, you know, the town gets what they are hoping for.
Well, we appreciate you coming back for round 2, Julie. Todd, Ed, any other questions, thoughts, comments?
You know, I've read the RFP and being involved in this for so long, I think I've got a good sense of where I think my question about the home ownership was answered with Julie's
Yeah.
question, you know, because for a while, it seemed like the focus was more on the rental component,
Yeah.
being a rental, so that was, you know, kind of my curiosity as well as why the focus or the leaning towards the home ownership.
Yeah. Okay.
So to be clear, the RFP opens for all proposals. So.
Yep. Yep.
And it is for the MBTA. There's a good, you know, there's a lot of information on the town website. This is sub-district 4. If you were so particular to look at that in terms of how, what zoning district it is proposed in for the MBTA zoning for Concord.
Just to remind anyone, if you didn't notice it, well, you said, or you can apply to for both this RFP and the Assabet River Homes, which is 3 new units. So Julie, if that's, you know, more in the market for the homeownership.
No.
Encouraged to propose.
Well, the Assabet River Bluff, isn't that more rental or is that?
That's only gonna be ownership.
That's ownership.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I imagine everyone on the call here knows, but to get these units on the SHI as homeownership units, you can't do it at 150.
Sure.
You know, AMI, but and you know, I think if the SHI is really your goal, and it sounds like it probably isn't, right? Because you've got these other 40 Bs in the pipeline.
We're literally
but-
1 unit short right now.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I looked. But you know, I just think it's a tough sell for, at least for our organization, to do, you know, home ownership at the site.
Yeah.
But you know, believe me, we're doing a little bit here, and it's amazing what a home ownership project can bring,
Yeah.
you know, to your town. So best of luck.
Well, and just to put a finer point on it, Julie, I mean, if we talked about a 15 to 50 unit range. I mean, I know LIHTC projects are difficult to make work at a small scale, because you have some fixed costs there, but if we would be open to something that blended homeownership component with, you know, 10 or 20 homeownership units and then a smaller rental program to get you to that 50 unit threshold or that cap. You know, we encourage you to be creative and, you know, submit a proposal with a couple of different options, a couple of different programmatic options for us to consider. We certainly would be open to that. We're going into this eyes wide open. As a developer, myself, for Trinity Financial, and my day job, there are lots of resources for rental housing. It's a whole different story for homeownership. That's starting to change with the Commonwealth Builder Program through Mass Housing. Unfortunately, we're not eligible for that here. You know, we're blessed to be in this town with these resources, but we don't check the boxes for that program, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
it leaves us with fewer tools in our tool chest to get this project to work. But I encourage you folks to think creatively and look at a few different options. Thoughts, questions, anything else?
By any chance, do you know what capital sources might be available? As you mentioned, Commonwealth Builder is not applicable.
It's not, yeah. I mean, it's really, I think, looking at the AMI for what sales prices could be for AMI at 150% of AMI. And we do have
I think
Yeah,
I put
I'm
something
drawing a
in the
blank.
RFP that shows
I'm-
this.
I'm drawing a blank, Liz, on the resources that we have, the town resources we have for the project. Do we have
Is that a question for Keith?
for Liz?
What's the question? Like,
Do we, I thought we had resources, town resources.
so I think what we
Okay.
ask for is what local resources do you need to make the project
Okay.
work?
Okay,
We provide the sales prices and the rents using current parameters. And then you can see what kind of, you know, other sources you can have, and then, you know, you could show it as a gap, you could show it as a local
Yep.
contribution, whatever makes sense for you. In terms of how you want to reflect that, but what do you need from locally? And we expect the answer is not zero, right? We totally
Right.
expect that that you would be looking for local resources, but we're asking you what you need to make the project work.
that's a good point, Liz. We don't have to, sources and uses don't have to balance. Tell us what you need.
Okay.
You know, come to us with a design you think that fits within our parameters and works for the site. And if there's a gap, we'll have discussion.
And it's also the case that with the Grantham proposal, we had to come up with fill that gap by a number of town meeting warrant articles over a number of years. So that was part of why the project took so long, but
Well, and then there was COVID.
that didn't.
Oh, right. that thing. Okay. Well, I want to thank all of you for coming, whether in person or virtually. There is an email address for Liz.
Yep, right in the RFP. Mhm.
Right in the RFP. So please submit your questions to Liz. We will be circulating responses to questions we get through that.
And even if you don't have questions, if you could just email your contact information to Liz so we have it, we can provide you with all the Q&A and any agenda.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And yeah, thank you so much for joining. We look forward to seeing your proposals.
Thank you.
Oh, Keith has his hand up.
Oh, Keith, did you have a question? A comment?
Hi, I just wanted to put it on the record here that the Concord Municipal Affordable Housing Trust is strongly interested in this project. And while our remaining funds are limited, just everyone ought to know that Concord is trying very hard to pass a real estate transfer fee to fund the trust. And we are big supporters of the governor's housing bond bill. And so it's, I mean, we're hoping that that there's a change in the in our world situation come in the coming months if the legislature can get the governor's Affordable Homes Act through with the real estate transfer fee. That in the long run, that's how we're going to fund construction of housing projects in Concord, and we're trying very hard to pursue that. Thanks so much.
Great. All right. I'm gonna stop the recording and you're all going to go to your next site visit, yeah?
That's right. That's right.